Am I the asshole? For responding to my father's request for a relationship with a detailed PowerPoint on why he will never be forgiven? If I'm the AH here, I'll own it. I'm not sorry, but like it would be good to know because the rest of my family thinks this went too far. My mom died when I was 7 from leukemia. I have very few memories of her from before she was sick, and I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her in her last year, but she was an artist, and until she couldn't anymore she would make me little collages when she was in the hospital with drawings and photos and messages for me. My grandmother put them all in a book for me after she died. I wanted to be like my mom, and my counselor thought it would help, so I started a journal where I would do kind of a similar thing, and I've done at least 1 page a week all these years ever since my mom died, more when I miss her or have something hard going on. So, I have kind of a unique record of my mental state over the last 16 years. My father remarried when I was 9. My stepmother really leaned hard into the "I'm your mom now," and my father didn't stop her. It improved when they had my half-brother because she basically forgot about me then. Unfortunately, he got cancer when he was 3. And I pretty much ceased to exist for my father. He was either working or gone with my brother, and I spent all my teen years mostly at home alone or with my grandparents. The mantra was that my brother needed to be the focus because he might die, so I needed to not be selfish since I was healthy. I stopped trying to talk to him when I was 16, and it was a dark time. I moved out when I was 18 and cut them off completely. My grandparents let me know that my brother died a couple of years ago, but respected my desire to remain NC with my father. He recently reached out to them because he wants to see me and talk. I went through my old journals and made him a PowerPoint with images of the entries where I had talked about being frustrated and feeling abandoned and unwanted, some with literal quotes of things my dad had said to me during arguments. Even the really dark stuff from when I was seriously depressed. Then I ended it with a photo of one of my mom's collages where she had written, "Remember that your dad and I are always here for you," and I wrote, "You failed. Go away." Underneath. I felt like him being able to see it from my literal perspective would communicate why I don't want him back better than I could. Evidently it worked, but a little too well, because I've been bombarded by family telling me that it's understandable that I don't want to see him, but what I sent gutted him and he's completely fallen apart after reading through it, and it was unnecessarily cruel. Maybe it was. I know my bar for that is kind of weird sometimes, so am I the asshole? Not the asshole in the slightest. You told your dad how you felt and it made him have to confront his failures as a parent. It is not your fault he neglected you. He is upset because he knows what you put in the PowerPoint is the reality of how he treated you when you were just a child. Now that the truth is out and you have re-established NC, I hope you are able to let go of some of the anger you have at him and know that you did nothing to cause how he treated you. I'm no contact with my dad and have been able to find a lot of peace in the life I have built without him. I hope for the same for you. Not the asshole he failed. He's gutted because he's had to look at the actual consequences of his actions, the pain he caused his child. Yeah, that probably sucks, but maybe he should have been a better dad. Not the asshole. I have a saying, if the truth about your conduct paints you in a bad light, the problem isn't with the truth. It's with your conduct. If the truth hurts your dad, it's his own to deal with and not on you. Edit. Thank you all for the many awards. I wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did. Red heart hash for those loving the saying and planning on using it. Happy to help. It's been a very handy saying and it's helped me lots. Hope it helps you all too. Evidently it worked, but a little too well, because I've been bombarded by family telling me that it's understandable that I don't want to see him, but what I sent gutted him and he's completely fallen apart after reading through it, and it was unnecessarily cruel. It was unnecessarily cruel of him to completely ignore you when your half-brother got sick. You already lost your mom, you would lose your brother, too, but he didn't think you needed any support or help. Not the asshole. Holy shit. Not the asshole, but that was brutal. I pictured the "you failed" popping up at the end like when you die in Dark Souls. Not the asshole. This was a brilliant and direct approach. Your father is finally feeling what you felt all your life and he's simply too weak to handle it. Even his reaction is a selfish, self-centered one screaming me. Not the asshole at all. That was a reality check what he had done to you. And he didn't like it. And your enabling family neither. The presentation forced them to look in the mirror. And what they saw is ugly. Not the asshole. Was it harsh? Yeah. Was it a lot of effort when simply telling him go away would have accomplished the basic goal? Probably. But this was your lived reality, and he wasn't interested in hearing or helping you when it would actually have made a difference. If it's only now dawning on him how lonely and rejected you must have felt, he's just going to have to live with that. Also, one does have to question whether he'd be this gutted or even reaching out at all if your brother were still here. Not the asshole. Own it. Don't be sorry. He fell apart because was bombarded with all the feelings that he would have noticed had he paid you any attention. He brought it upon himself. Not the asshole. If he didn't want to hear the answer, he shouldn't have asked. You responded unequivocally and with receipts, no further discussion needed. Tell your family that if he's struggling with the consequences of his own actions, they should pay for his therapy. It is 100 not your problem. Well done, you. Not the asshole. What you did is savage, for sure, but you're not the asshole because your father is. Sure, it would have been more tactful to say no, I don't want to talk to him, but the whole point, as you showed through evidence, is his treatment of you during your formative years means he is not deserving of your tact. Not the asshole. You're allowed to feel and think the way that you do. Was your presentation harsh? Yes. Was it over the top? A little. Did it get your point across? Definitely. Maybe your father has massive regrets since you are now his only remaining biological child and perhaps he's feeling the weight of that. Maybe he's now realizing that not all actions are forgivable. That's on him though. You do what works for you. Not the asshole, and I would say. It was honest. It was meant to be honest. If it was cruel, it was only because he now knows what he has done. The point was not to hurt him, but to help him understand. Now he does. Not the asshole. He doesn't get to wash everything away because some time has passed and he wants a relationship now. Especially if he had made no effort to fix or atone for said behavior. Not the asshole. Reality hit him in the face. He's lost a spouse, a son, and now a daughter. He had complete control over losing one of them and refused to help in the moment. Not the asshole. Who are all these family members who feel like they have a say in any of this? Were they there to tell Dad he was wrong when he was neglecting his own child? Why do they feel the need to give their opinion now? Not the asshole, but it seems he not only shoved you aside, he stole any chance you had to have a relationship with your brother. You don't need that in your life. Not the asshole. It was honest and real. If you had shared those feelings and words with him verbally and in person, he probably wouldn't have grasped the full impact of what you went through as a child. Honestly, these family members who are telling you that it was cruel and unnecessary, need to stay out of it. I bet they are the type of family that didn't show you the same type of concern when you were a child and were being neglected. You were a victim. You don't need to be the bigger person and forgive your father or show him mercy. You don't owe him anything. I am always for bringing in supporting evidence for a decision I've made. I love that you stated your sentiments in an organized fashion. Save the PowerPoint, you never know when you'll need it again. Brilliant. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You simply held a mirror to his face. It's not your fault he didn't like what he saw. He should be gutted. Not the asshole. That was brilliant and really helped him see from your perspective how badly he failed you. No one wants to be confronted with their mistakes and consequences, but it was something that had to be done. Not the asshole. Telling the truth about what he did and how shitty it made you feel isn't what's unnecessarily cruel. Not the asshole. The bridge was already nuked. You just showed him the pictures of the aftermath. Not the asshole. You found an effective way to communicate just how badly your father effed up. He is lucky it was only a PP presentation and not years of misery. Not the asshole. The truth hurts.